Hello dear students. In the previous first part of this tutorial, we set up a network that similar you can see over here, right? So we have 4 PCs and the server on the right side of this local area network, and we have on the left side of the network the switch and the single PC, right? So there's a connection we set up, and now we will continue this simulation, right? So on the Cisco Packet Tracer, I put items everywhere in its right position, but there's no any configuration done for the routers yet, right? That's why you can see a red color on these connections. But this particular local area network, they can ping to each other with this default gateway 10.10.10, so as we have seen in the part 1. Now to configure these routers, so we will start with the router 0. So I'll open the router 0. So what you have to do is you go to the config section, and then there is a fast Ethernet 0/0 connection, right? So we have this section over here. So this thing should be configured. So we will go to this section, and first we turn on the fast Ethernet, and then we tell to the router that the default gateway for this site is 10.10.10.0, and the subnet mask is the following. And we also have the connection on the other side of the router, right? So this is the SE2/0 connection. So for that part, we have to tell to the router, which is over here. We also have to turn it first, and then tell that this particular network is going to have the public IP address as 30.30.31. all right, sorry. And the same thing we will do for the second router on the left. So we go to the router number 1, and for the router number 1 we go to the configuration section, and then the fast Ethernet 0/0, right? So we have a connection over here, FA 0/0. For that connection, we will tell we first turn it on, and then we say that the default gateway here is a 20, 20, 20, and 0. All right, 20, 20, 20, 0. And for the serial, which is the other side of the route here, you can see SE2, right? So for this connection, we're gonna have public IP address, some sort of public IP address for the network on the left as 30, 30, 30, and 2. All right, 30, 30, 32, and 30, 30, 31 on the right. Let me check that one more time. Yeah, 30, 30, 31. So that's all the configuration needed for these 2 routers. And as I explained in the slides, so if you want to go out to the internet with IP address, you will be represented as with one particular public IP address for the entire network. So that thing now should be configured or instructed to the router over here. So this router. So we have to go to the router, and then we have to go to the command line interface section. So we are on the command line interface section, and the instructions that I have listed over here, now we have to follow those instructions. So the first thing is that we have to exit the config if section. So we have to be in the config section. So we are in the right place. So we will tell to the router that IP configuration for the network address translation inside source static, right? So this is going to have the computer with the IP address 10.10.10.1 should have the public IP address as 30.30.31, right? This is the comment. So the IP net inside source static 10.10.10.1 computer should have the public IP address 30.30.31, right? That's it. So we will repeat the same thing several times for other computers. For the computer with IP address 2, for the computer with IP address 3, for the computer with IP address 4, and finally for the computer with IP address 100. Okay, the computer with IP address 100. Yeah, that's all done correctly. And the next thing is we should tell to the router which part of the network translation, address translation, is the inside, which part is the outside. So we'll write the interface int f0/0. So this particular interface is going to be IP network address translation as something inside, for the inside, right? And then we have the interface s2/0. This is going to work as a IP network address translation as a interface for the outside. Okay, that's it. We will exit the command line interface. We exit the command line interface, and now we have to do what we have to do is we go to the config section, right? So we go to the config section. And then we have to configure something called the static routes, right? As I also mentioned in the slides, the next slide, we have a static route information over here. So right over here, we tell to the this router that for the other network with gateway starting with 20, right? For the other networks gateway starting with 20, that particular network should be given an access for the local area network of the following. And so we provide the network mask, and then we also tell that there is one more router to pass by as a hop, right? So which has a IP address number 2, public IP address number 2, 30, 30, and number 2, right? So we have to add the static route to the router 0, so which is done. Yeah, and with that said, yeah, let's check back to the fast Ethernet. It's turned on, then the gateway given, serial, it's also turned on, and the public IP address is given, right? So, and then for the other router over here, we also have the fast Ethernet. It's turned on, public gateway is given, and we have the serial connection, public IP address is given, it's turned on, right? So with that said, it's all required as a configuration. So now we will try to ping between the computers, right? As I mentioned it in the previous tutorial, so you can easily ping to a computer in the same network, right? So I'll write, let's say, a computer with the IP address 3. So any computer on the local area network on the right can ping to each other, but how the computers can ping to the network on the left, right? From over here, let's say we have a PC. From this particular PC, how we can you cannot reach, as I mentioned in the theory, you cannot reach every individual computer with its IP address that is 10, 10, 10, 1, 2, 3, etc. So what you do is you access or you ping to this particular entire network with a single IP address, which is the public IP address, right? So we will do that in a moment. So we're gonna write here 30, 30, 30, and the public IP address here is the number 1. So it may give a request timeout for the early packet sending, but the rest of the packets will be sent and received. Here you can see the result. We'll try one more time, and then there is packet sending and receiving done successfully, right? And as a matter of fact, on the from the network on the right side, we will do the same thing to the. So once again, we cannot go to the computer 202021, which is over here in the local area network on the left side. So what we do is we can only ping to the IP public IP address, which is 30, 30, 30, and 2, right? Here it's written, and then the packet sent and received, which means the network set correctly. And that's the simulation of the network address translation. So this particular network and all the computers, now it's just 5 computers including the server, but there can be 50, 100 computers, so they all can reach out to the internet with one particular public IP address. Yeah, with that said, the last thing I would like to show is I put the server as well. So the server has the the HTTP the feature is turned on, so you can also access to this local area networks web server running, and for that you have to type the public IP address of that particular network through the browser, right? So we open the web browser, and for the computer on the left, for this computer, so far the DNS is not set, so you don't know which computer on the local area network with this green color has that web service capabilities, but you only know that there's the public IP address 30.30.31, right? So that will help you to display that index.html page for the view, right? So we will type that particular IP address 30.30.31, and here you can see have access at the home page of the that is stored on the server. If you do the same thing from the, let's say, a PC located in the same network, right? So you have to type not the public IP address, but you have to type the computer's local IP address, which is 10, 10, 10, and 100. And here we have the content of the HTML. All right. So that was all for this tutorial, network address translation. So we have went through in the part 1 about the basic theory of the network address translation, and here we have done some basic simulation. Remember that you have to configure the switch, the routers, and then you also have to add the static route for that router. And yeah, that was all about the network address translation simulation. Thank you for the attention.